Manchester United's season is gathering momentum. They played Watford at their own no-nonsense game. They may have built a reputation of being devils in red, but Manchester United were last night pretty in pink. Those famous blood-red shirts were swapped for ones of an altogether different hue at Vicarage Road, but this was no lily-livered showing, and their season is slowly gathering momentum. Yes, the color of their jerseys might have been diluted, but this was no watered-down performance as Jose Mourinho's side played the Hornets at their own strong-armed, no-nonsense game. 2 goals that were the direct result of problematic set pieces gave the visitors breathing space in a purple patch towards the end of the first half. Romelu Lukaku and Chris Smalling benefited from Marouane Fellaini's prowess under the high ball, grabbing the goals as Mourinho deployed the big Belgian international to devastating effect. And although Andre Gray reduced the deficit with a side-foot finish to set up a frantic finale going into the final quarter, the visitors refused to buckle. In fact, by the final whistle, Mourinho once more had keeper David de Gea to thank for his save in the final minute of injury time. The keeper pulled off a quite magnificent stop from Christian Cabasel's header to protect the points. However, Manchester United's boss will be without Nemanja Matic, who will miss next week's home clash with Wolves after being sent off for the second of 2 bookings in the dying seconds. Make no mistake, this trip to Vicarage Road was the Premier League equivalent of playing with fire. Watford boss Javi Gracia picked up the Manager of the Month award before kickoff following 4 straight victories. And both Mourinho and his team would have known that becoming the host's 5th victims this season would have sparked suggestions that the title race would not be involving his club. Defeat would have left them 9 points behind the early season pace-setters. And with all 3 of the undefeated sides currently cutting a swathe through the Premier League, the vice really was being turned. Of course, few relish a trip to Vicarage Road at the best of times. Now that the benchmark of a cold night in Stoke has been lost due to the Potters' demotion from the big league, perhaps the acid test for any team is a dust-up in Hertfordshire. The main action of the opening half-hour centered on David de Gea's goal, the Spaniard tipping over a drive from Troy Deeney as Watford sensed a vulnerability. Slowly but surely, however, the visitors plugging away. Sanchez saw one strike chalked off after straying offside, and the hosts' bright start gradually faded. The breakthrough came 10 minutes before the interval. Ashley Young's deep free kick was by Marouane Fellaini. The Belgian international's first effort at playing the ball into the danger zone was cleared back to the left back. His cross took a slight deflection which was enough to flummox Watford's defence and take keeper Ben Foster out of the equation. It fell perfectly for Lukaku, who allowed the ball to hit his midriff and hit the net. 3 minutes later, the Hornets were again undone by a set piece. It was again Fellaini who was the target of a deep corner. The ball was nodded goalwards where Chris Smalling chested down on the edge of the 6-yard box, swiveled and struck a sweet volley past Foster before the shot stopper had time to react. The reaction on the visitors' bench perhaps betrayed just what kind of fix Mourinho would have been in, had United not triumphed. The Portuguese grabbed hold of the nearest body to him, gave them a hug, and then clasped Michael Carrick around the back of the head and brought him into the brief bromance. That goal knocked the stuffing out of Watford. It was clearly alien to them to be on the back foot. But had Foster not somehow kept out a close-range Pogba volley at the far post, the situation would have been irretrievable at half-time. That at least left Troy Deeney and company with faint hope of salvaging something from the wreckage. Those prospects were given a huge boost when Abdoulaye Doucouré, the game's outstanding player, forged forward. He received the ball back from Will Hughes and pulled the ball back for Gray to fire past De Gea and raise the prospect of late drama that only the Spaniard's heroics prevented.